I have a quick question for you. When was the last time you woke up and didn't crave that special cup of coffee, soda, or tea? Well, that's right. I can't remember the last time I didn't crave it either. Well, what is that special ingredient in there that we can't stop thinking about when we're tired? Probably guessed it. It's caffeine. Well, the WebMD says that caffeine is a stimulant obtained from over 60 different types of plants. That's pretty cool. It's naturally derived, so I'm not going to feel too bad about drinking my coffee anymore. It's also considered to be the most commonly used psychoactive drug in the entire world. The most common forms in the American diet is coffee, soda, tea, chocolate, and energy drinks, like this one I have right here. Unfortunately, caffeine does produce withdrawal symptoms, but also it's used in many medications and can help control weight, or is in weight control products. It completely absorbs in the body within 30 to 45 minutes, but only lasts about 3 hours. And also, scientists have figured out how to synthetically make caffeine in a lab and add it to food, drinks, and supplements. And my last fun fact about caffeine is that product labels, they're required to list it as an ingredient, but they don't have to say an amount. So always be aware of how much caffeine you're drinking by looking at a list online, or try to search more into about the food you're eating so you know exactly how much you're drinking or eating throughout the day. And so why is knowing how much caffeine that we consume important? Well, the FDA and AMA, the Food Drug Administration, and the American Medical Administration says that moderate intake is safe. So what exactly is moderate intake? Well, they say that low to moderate is 130 milligrams to 300 milligrams. Moderate is about 300 to 350, and high is 400 and above. And then heavy caffeine intake is 6,000 milligrams a day. That is just a lot of caffeine. And Americans, we're doing okay. Our average American consumption of caffeine is 280 milligrams a day, which is roughly about 2 8-ounce cups of coffee. And some other examples of caffeine amounts in our most popular American drinks is in a 12-ounce Mountain Dew, there's 54 milligrams, and a Monster energy drink has about 160, and a Hershey's chocolate bar has 31. And then I also brought this nice Red Bull. Got this when I ordered my book, still haven't drank it, but this has a caffeine content of 80 milligrams per 8 fluid ounces. So if you're drinking one of those big ones, it's a lot of caffeine to keep track of. So why is it important to keep track of caffeine? Well, unfortunately, some people do say that that caffeine is addictive. The DSM says that if you meet 3 of these criteria, you're addicted to a substance. And so there's 7 of them. The first one is tolerance. If you can build a tolerance against a substance, then it is addictive, or it can be addictive. Number 2, the substance has specific withdrawals. 3, the substance taken in larger amounts or longer periods of time than wished. 4, there's persistent desire or unsuccessful efforts to control use. 5, a great deal of time and activities is necessary to obtain use and recover from the effects. So if you're waiting in that 20-minute line to get your Starbucks in the morning, we may be a little worried. Also, number 6, if you're missing out on important social, occupational, or recreational activities, or given up or reduced because of the substance. And 7, your use continued despite knowledge or persistent or recurrent physical or psychological problems likely to have been caused or exacerbated by the substance. Meaning, so if you know it's bad for you and you keep using it, we also may have a little addiction to caffeine, which I know for me, whenever I was drinking coffee very heavily before I was pregnant, I could name 4 of those that that I met. So therefore, I was probably addicted to it. And so we talk about being, or if caffeine's addictive, if it has specific withdrawal symptoms. And unfortunately, it does. By the end of the day, if we see our teachers or who haven't had their coffee in a while, because it's just 12 to 24 hours after you quit drinking or consuming caffeine, you're going to have a headache, tiredness and fatigue, decreased energy, decreased alertness, depressed mood, difficulty concentrating, irritability, feeling muggy and foggy, and these can last for 2 to 9 days if you're cutting caffeine out dry turkey. And then, so then also, should we be worried about drinking or consuming too much caffeine? Absolutely. The DSM-4 says that there's such thing as a caffeine intoxication, which means that we drink too much caffeine in a small period of time, or if someone is not used to drinking caffeine and they drink a Red Bull for the first time, they're going to have restlessness, nervousness, excitement, insomnia, a flushed face, diuresis, which is you urinate a lot, and gastrointestinal complaints. Not fun. And also, the extreme end of the spectrum of too much caffeine can result in death, which this has only happened 2 times in the US, which they have concluded is 100% based on caffeine. And this means that the person had 10 or more grams of caffeine, which is the fatal dose for adults. That is equal to 80 to 100 cups of coffee, and that is in a very short period of time. And they say that the short period of time is 7 to 10 minutes. So that would be record-breaking to drink that much coffee in 10 minutes. So hopefully we stick to our 1 or 2 cups a day. And another benefit, or those 2 weren't benefits, but now, since we looked at the negatives, caffeine does have some positives. It can help people stay awake during hard times when they're tired if they didn't get enough sleep, but just making sure that they drink a moderate, safe amount. And researchers have found that it aids in weight loss. After a study, scientists came to a conclusion that it was related to greater weight loss, higher thermogenesis, and fat oxidation. So this means that the control group that they pumped up with caffeine was losing weight faster. Unfortunately, the group that wasn't with the caffeine did keep the weight off longer. So now that we've discussed all these good and bad things about caffeine, I hope you have learned a lot and will watch how much you drink, but it's not supposed to scare you away because they say that we're allowed to have those 2 cups a day, so keep enjoying. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on my speech. Have a great day.